Hello students, this is Mr. Damiani and today we're going to be looking at lesson 9.5 located on page 517 of your Go Math workbook. The topic for today's lesson is going to be equations and graphs, the last lesson of chapter 9. It was short and sweet, but we definitely got a lot done. The essential question: how can you translate between equations and graphs? Well, we're going to show you how. And it's going to really be blending the skills that you've worked on up to this point. We are going to be writing equations. We are going to be filling out an XY table, finding ordered pairs, and then graphing. The solution of an equation, checking along here, the solution of an equation in two variables is an ordered pair that makes the equation true. For example, 2 comma 5 is a solution of the equation y equals x plus 3 because 5 is equal to 2 plus 3. All right. It's all that stuff we've been working on. A linear equation is an equation whose solutions form a straight line on the coordinate plane. Any point on the line is a solution of the equation. So remember, any point that falls on that line is going to be true when plugged in to that equation. Linear equations form lines. All right, unlock the problem. Here we go. A blue whale is swimming at an average rate of 3 miles per hour. Write a linear equation that gives the distance y in miles that the whale swims in x hours. Then graph the relationship. So I noticed two things here. I noticed that I have to write my linear equation. Then I have to take that equation and graph it. In order to do that, I'm going to need some type of XY chart and ordered pairs in order to do that. So it's really requiring us to do 4 things. So let's do step 1. Step 1 is going to always be write that equation. So write and graph a linear equation. So write an equation for the relationship. First of all, looking at what it gives us here, it says distance was the y, gives it to me right here. And always remember, y is your dependent variable, so our equations always start with y equals. Rate, in this case, comes from up here, which is 3 miles per hour multiplied by, well, the time, which in this case is x hours. So we know that our equation here is going to be y equals 3x, or 3 times x. That's my equation. The next thing I would like to do is form my table. So let's fill in our table here. So we're going to create our ordered pairs. Choose several values of x and find the corresponding values of y. Choose values of x. Don't choose difficult values of x. Choose nice easy ones to multiply by, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'll notice those values have been included here. And you can create these on your own. They don't have to come from the problem. So pick numbers that are easy to multiply by. So if x equals 1, that's going to be the same as 3 times 1, which is 3. When x is 2, that's going to be 3 times 2, which is 6. X is 3, that's going to be 3 times 3, which is 9. And then it's going to be, if x is 4, it's going to be 3 times 4, which is 12. So now we have 6, 9, and 12 based on the equation that we discovered up above, which was y is equal to 3x. Now the ordered pair would be pulling these together. 2 comma 6, 3 comma 9, 4 comma 12. Those are your ordered pairs. And now we're going to take these and we're going to graph them. Sorry, I'm jumping around there. I'm just trying to get enough page here. So actually, sorry, let's add this up to our directions, our steps here. Step 3 was create our ordered pairs. And then step 4 would be to graph. This is the process you are going to work through on all of these examples that require us to graph. So let's go ahead and pause the video for me. Go ahead and graph these ordered pairs here and check it with mine. Thank you. All right, and you should notice where these points fall. Notice that my lines count up by 2, so our odd values of 3 and 9 are going to fall kind of in between our blue lines. But you should notice a nice kind of diagonal line that's formed there. All right, and we have graphed those points. So let's go ahead and turn the page here to the next example. And here we are. We are looking at example 1 at the top of page 518. Example. The graph shows the number of beaded necklaces Y that Ginger can make in X hours. Write the linear equation for the relationship shown by the graph. All right, so first of all, the Y is going to represent the beaded necklaces, and the X is going to be the amount of hours. What we're going to need is some value of X and value of Y in order to figure this equation out. We do know that our equation is going to be Y equals something. So we go to the graph here and we notice that I have ordered pairs 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that information, we're going to drop it into our XY chart. So for 0 I had 0, for 1 I had 2, for 3 I had 6, and for 4 I had an 8. This information comes from these ordered pairs here. Okay? And I'll notice, how do I get from, well, 0 to 0, anything multiplied by 0, 0. 1 times 2 gets me 2, 3 times 2 gets me 6, 4 times 2 gets me 8. So it looks like, oh, sorry, that should be a 3. It looks like we are multiplying by 2. So each value of Y is 2 times the corresponding X value. So the linear equation is going to be Y equals 2X. All right, good stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look down here at the share and show. And our job here is going to be to graph the linear equation. So we're given the equation of Y equals X minus 2. Go ahead and pause the video and fill in our missing Y values using the formula or the equation that's given. Just the Y values. Thank you. All right, now, you notice we're given the equation up here, and we're actually given values of X here. Our job is to just substitute the X into that equation to find our new Y. So if I'm using Y equals X minus 2, and I said, yeah, well, what if X is 4? Well, let's put in a 4. Minus 2, and I get a 2. That appears there. Well, if I use a 6, 6 minus 2 is a 4. Put that 4 in there. 8 minus 2 is 6. I now have my XY value. What I want to do now is I'm going to create my ordered pair. So I have my table. Let's make our ordered pair. The nice thing about having your vertical XY table like I have here is they're already in the order that we need them. So 2, 0, 4, 2. Again, doing this with me, folks, making our ordered pair from the table. 6, 4, and 8, 6. Excellent. So now go ahead, pause the video, and get these points on the graph. Thank you. All right, so you'll notice we got a nice straight line. Compare your points with mine, and you should be good to go. All right, question 2, let's take a look. Question 2 says Y equals 3X. Graph it. Well, I have an equation. I need to graph it. First thing I want to do would be jump to my second step, which would be my XY table. So let's do that. X, Y. And let's figure this out. When you have an XY table that has no X values, you get to put in your X values. So let's keep it simple. 1, 2, 3, 4 points should get me a nice line. So now we're going to substitute in and find our missing values. So if Y equals 3X, that means I multiply all of my X's by 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. And 4 times 3 is 12. Y equals 3X, and there are my points. Go ahead and graph these ordered pairs. List the ordered pairs and complete the graph, and then I'm going to have you check it with mine. Thank you. Pause it up and do that. Okay, go ahead and check yours with mine, please. And when you're all set there, I'd like you to go ahead and turn the page. We're now going to take a look at page 519. All right, looking at page 519. This is where I'm going to end up giving you a couple things to do on your own here. What I would like you to do for question 3, we have to come up with an equation that identifies the relationship. Okay, so if I have an ordered pair and I have the graph, then before I write the equation, working backwards in my checklist here, before I write the equation, I need an XY table. So let's put this information into an XY chart. So this is where we're going to list our ordered pairs. 2, 1, 4, 3, 6, 5, and 8, 7. And we're going to write down first part of our equation. So how can I get from x to y? Minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Well, looks like x minus 1. All right, so what I'd like you to do now is I'm going to have you go ahead and circle question 4 and question 6. And I would like you to make sure that you set up your XY chart for each of these in order to help you figure out the answers. Read your directions carefully. Make sure you have a nice well-rounded summary. Within that summary, you're going to absolutely want to include the steps that we identified back on the first page that you want to work through. Equation, XY chart or table, ordered pair, and graph. Make sure those are in your summary. Write a good, strong question. All right. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. I hope you all have a fantastic evening, and we look forward to seeing you in school. Goodbye. Goodbye.